Greetings, everyone. Welcome to another weight loss journey. I've been doing these pretty much every week on Sunday. The time I've been doing this generally around 3 p.m. Eastern time. So I didn't really want to do this one. I was thinking that I'd skip a week because it was not a particularly good week result, even though I did everything pretty damn good. And we'll get into that just as soon as more people are here so I don't have to repeat it too many times. Um, yeah, so I had a pretty good week again, and there's going to be these weeks which for some reason you don't understand why there's not a change, either not a change or gain, maybe gained. This is my completion of week 7, right? This is the 7th week, week 7, and yeah, let's say hello to some people. We'll get into it in a bit. Hello to Gary. And hello to James and Empty Glass. Hello, Joe. How you doing, Joe F? From one Joe to another. And yeah, some rough days here in a way because the last few days I did not feel well. And when I say I didn't feel well, I'm saying that I did not feel well specifically from the diet. I'm talking about, I'm going to call it sugar withdrawal. Some people call it the keto flu. I don't know if I'm really keto, but whatever. Before I start, let me say, which I want to say throughout my streams, I am not a doctor. I am not a physician. I'm not a dietitian. I'm not a nutritionist. I don't claim to know the answers or anything or trying to push anything. This is just what I am experiencing. I'm here to tell you what I am going through, what I'm experiencing, and just to report on it. That's it. I'm not trying to claim that what I'm doing is anything anybody else should do. So that's important for me to say. I want to make that clear. Um, and yeah, so I wasn't feeling too good. I had the last couple of days in particular, 2 or 3 days. It's been going on for more than. Excuse me, I got itch. I always get itches in there. Um, We're going on for more than a few days. Right now, today, I got to say, luckily, today, while I'm doing this live, I'm feeling good. Feeling pretty good, actually. And I'm happy because I wasn't feeling good yesterday or the day before that. And it had to do with, again, brain fog. It had to do with lack of clarity. It had to do with um, feeling fatigued, feeling without energy, very weak. I don't feel that today, but I did yesterday, the day before that, yesterday and the day before that in particular. Like I noticed, like if I kind of look down, like this, I get a little slightly. I feel a little slightly off balance. Um, in my record store, my local record store, they have records that are high up on the wall. Uh, the last couple of days, if I was in there and I was looking up at the records like that with my head to, I'd be like, oh, I go, hold on a second. Nothing serious. I mean, I wasn't talking vertigo or anything, but the way I describe it is my body chemistry is not right. I'm guessing it's adapting to this lifestyle, to this diet, because when you've eaten sugar and carbs and a lot of garbage for many years, in my case, like maybe 3 decades, okay, and now you're trying to go pretty much cold turkey off it in 7 weeks. I did some research. You could look up and you could Google all sorts of things, and you could watch videos, you could read things, you could listen to things, people's personal accounts, doctors, the experts out there, and it's not uncommon. It's not uncommon to be feeling not yourself and feeling worse when you're starting a severe, extreme diet like this. And I know there are a lot of people who are not yet even here. They're not present yet. So again, uh, probably save this till later. Um, okay, what's your secret to keeping your thick hair? Just good genetics? I'm guessing it's genetics, really. I'm guessing, pretty much. I think that's the main thing when it comes to that. I never smoked, I never drank, I never did drugs. I don't know what that has to do with anything. But seriously, there you go. Hello, Elvin. Um, just finished watching the record stream live. Now here, still waiting for the Mayo Marathon 10-hour version. Yeah, yeah. One day, am I going to do a 10-hour marathon live? Maybe one day when I get to, maybe one day when I get to I don't know, 10 years. No, I had 10 years. I'm sorry. 20 years, maybe. I wonder if your routine, hello, Andrea, by the way, I wonder if your routine is a little too restrictive. I'm beginning to think about that. As you know, too little has its own issues. That's what I want to talk about that too. We're going to talk about this as we get going because I did not do badly all week with one tiny exception, I think, and it's not really even a big deal. And I'm going to explain that as we go. As we age, hormones can fluctuate more, affecting weight and mood. Remember, all things must pass. The mood was definitely affected. There's nothing worse than when I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do, as far as I know, and I'm living pretty healthy. I'm exercising a bit, and I'm like, I feel worse than when I started. But you say, what kind of bull crap is this? I mean, if I'm gonna feel like crap, I'm gonna eat whatever the hell I want. The hell with it. And I had that feeling a couple of times this week that just passed. But I never gave in. I never gave in. I used my want power. I still want to lose the weight. I still want to do well. So I didn't give in to temptations. And even though it's not so much even temptation, it was more disgust and not getting anywhere. And when I tell you how I did this week, that's even more disgust. So let me just say hello to a few people, and I'll tell you what the totals were this week for the weight. Okay. Mick64 says sugar withdrawal is tough. Thank you for joining me today, Mick64. I always like when you're here. Thank you. And yes, that I think is what it is. Now, let me give you a little background for those who don't know. I'm 64 years old now. When I was 22, I had some problems like this. I had problems in my 20s. 22. And I went 5 years without any of the doctors out there knowing what was wrong. They gave me tests. All I needed was a good diet, good nutrition back then. But anyway, and I had years like this, what I've been feeling the last few days. And it is very, very distressing when you feel a certain bad way that you haven't felt for I don't know how many years, 40 years or something. I haven't felt like this in 40 years. That is, a spells like that. I call it me having a spell, having one of my spells. And it just means, like I talked a little bit about, I think last week or the week before that, where I just felt drained, can't think clearly. Again, today I feel a lot better. I'm happy to say. Today I feel like myself. But let me just say hello to the rest of the people. Hello to Jill. Thank you for being here. Jill, I had the same exact dizziness experience last week. It lasted less than 24 hours, but I can't explain what it was. Yeah, exactly. It's weird, and it's also not so much dizzy. Dizzy is a strong word. I call it lack of equilibrium. I feel a little, look down and maybe I'm like bending, doing some work here, and I'm like, oh, well, it's a little bit too much for me. Just that. Or looking, like I said, people who are just getting here now, being in the record store, looking up at the top of the wall like this, the record's hanging high, and then I look down and I'm like, oh man. Just for a second. Nothing serious. I'm not gonna fall down. I don't need a doctor. But it's just you could tell like something's wrong with your balance or your body chemistry. All right, and hello to Petty Lane. Hello, and hello to Ramoga. Eric says you're on the right track. Stay with it, which I am doing. Thank you, Eric. I am here for support. I'm here to support people, and I hope they'll support me. We'll support each other. That's what this is about. This is asking, when you fell off the wagon and started eating everything again, what prompted the decision? Well, that was in I had started eating well around 1988 or 89. I started eating better and felt better from 89 to 1994. In 1994, actually, I was married once. My ex-wife, we were getting married in 1994. And when you do a wedding, you do the thing where they say the bride feeds the groom and the groom feeds the bride, and you have to eat a cake. And I was like, I don't want to eat any cake. And I figured, how am I going to handle that? So in 1994, I knew I was getting married that year. So January, I started eating sugar again after the first time in like 5 years. And for some reason, I was able to handle it. I don't know why. I don't know how I was able to handle it. But from 1994 to 2026, obviously, I gained a lot of weight. And I kept, but I felt pretty good. I can't explain that. I can't explain why when I was in my 20s, say from 1984 to 1989, why I felt so bad eating shit. And then I went good I ate good with no carbs or sugar from 89 to 94, and I felt better. And then when I cheated in 94 and started eating from 1994, all kinds of crap that wasn't nailed down from 94 to now, why I didn't really have any bad reactions again like I did in my 20s, I don't know. But, and here's what he says. I agree. I look down a little spinny. My wife says it could be lack of sodium. Chew on some salt. Yeah, I don't know if I'm eating too much. This is the whole thing. I don't know if I'm eating too much salt. But I want to, I appreciate all your input, everybody. Please, this is great, right? All right, let me tell you. All right, last Sunday when I weighed in, I was amazed. I was so happy. Last Sunday, I lost 2.6 pounds for that week. Week 6, I lost 2.6 pounds last time. This week, I gained 1 pound. Who could figure it out? I think this is the first Sunday in the 7 weeks I've been doing this where I actually gained 1 pound. Did I really gain a pound? Probably not. Is it mostly water weight or some kind of thing, temporary? Yes, probably. Will I see the weight go down more next week and the week after that and the week after that? Almost definitely. Most definitely. But for this particular week, I gained 1 pound. And here's the part that I want to tell you that drives me up a freaking wall. Okay, so let's see. Last Sunday, I weighed 306. That was a 2.6 weight loss. I was down from 319, which is my all-time life's high weight. I went from 319 down to 306. And last Sunday, that was a loss of 13 pounds. Now, here's the thing. So Sunday, that's my weight. Tuesday, I went to a movie with a double feature, 2 movies together. And when I went there, I didn't have any dinner. So I wanted to eat something. All they had on there, I looked at all the food. They had bad food choices at this theater that I went to, obviously. The only thing they really had that I ate was a chocolate brownie. 1 chocolate brownie. And when I say chocolate brownie, I wish I could tell you how small it was. You see, take this thing here, for example. I don't know if you can even see it. You probably can't see it. It was even smaller than this. I mean, it was small. It was small. Okay? And it was good. It was damn good because I hadn't had chocolate or fudge or anything like that in 7 weeks. But anyway, so I ate that. That's all. Okay? So last Sunday I was 306. Tuesday night I had a chocolate brownie. I weigh myself Wednesday morning. You ready for this? 304.2. From last Sunday to Wednesday, I was down 1.8 pounds already. It was only Tuesday, and I had a brownie the night before. Go figure. I know sometimes you see things, maybe if you eat something, you'll see it later. It won't manifest till later. I know. But what I'm trying to tell you is this is what's frustrating, what you have to deal with. And I'm sure a lot of you people out there that try to eat differently and try to lose some weight, I'm sure you all know what I'm talking about, how the scale changes. And some people say, throw the damn scale in the garbage. Well, I'm not going to throw it in the garbage because I need a scale, because I want the scale I need it to tell how much I've lost. But how often you weigh yourself on a scale, that's a different story. So I'm giving you numbers here. Sunday, 306. Wednesday, 304.2. And I'm saying to myself, here it is Wednesday. I'm already 304.2. By the time I get to Sunday, I'm going to be 303. I'll probably be 303 or 302 by the time I get to Sunday, right? No. 307 this morning. I went from 306 Sunday, 304.2 Wednesday to 307 on Sunday. I don't understand it. And you can't give up. I was really disgusted, That's one of the reasons why It's one of the reasons why I like to weigh myself during the week. You see, if I had just weighed myself last Sunday to this Sunday, I would have gained just 1 pound, and that would have been it. But by weighing myself in the middle of the week, I saw that I did get down. I did get down 1.8. Also, so I know it's possible. Like I can do it. But I probably am going to try harder. Yeah, sure, harder not to weigh too often. But that's the only thing I know that I did that was bad as far as eating something that was objectionable was a one little brownie, and I emphasize the word little. There are big brownies and there are little brownies. This was a little brownie. Yeah. And anyway, the last few days, as I say, for those who may have missed the beginning, I had brain fog all day yesterday. It was awful. I mean, I don't know how to describe it. You can't think clearly. You feel like you can't function. I mean, you can function, but you don't feel like you can. If that makes you go through it, you push through it anyway. And no, I don't want to do anything. I feel completely lack of energy, as if my brain is not getting the sugar it needs. And when I say sugar, I mean glucose. We could get into this all the time. Again, I'm not a doctor, but I've done my share of reading. I don't claim to be a doctor, but the brain needs glucose. And we got some comments here that I'm gonna consider in a moment here. I see. All right. So I'm not giving up though, but believe me, moments like that are when I say, well, look, geez, I'll just throw in the towel then. Well, at least for now, I'm gonna go have a cheeseburger, or I'm gonna have some pizza, whatever it is. I'm gonna have a foot long sandwich, a hero. And it's like, no, no, I'm not gonna do it because this is part of the game, and giving up is not an option. Not an option because at this stage of my career, this, if you want to call it a career of doing this, this stage of my routine, does it pay to eat badly and go back up? Do I want to go back up to where I was 7 weeks ago? No, of course not. All right, let's take a few comments here, please. Saying please to myself. Stupid way to put it. Hello, Robbie. Thank you for being here. Mellow fellow. Hello, hello. Changes in eating routine can affect body chemistry, causing all kinds of symptoms, including feeling lightheaded, weak, dizzy. Sometimes thought feeling dizzy can be a symptom of a mini stroke. Yeah, well, all right. I've had a lot of episodes like that, but yeah. Hello, George. Thank you for joining in. I just ate a fried peanut butter banana sandwich in honor of Elvis's 49th anniversary. Not good for you, but I only have it once a year. Okay. I suppose, luckily, I've never really had much of a sweet tooth at all. I mean, I'm trying to think. Did I do anything else? Did I do anything? And I'll tell you one thing. I slacked off on my walking this past week. I did walk. I walked today, and I walked the last 2 days. But a lot of the week last week, I did not walk. I'll give you that. I didn't do that. So maybe because I slacked off on the walking a bit. But the last 3 days I have walked. But hello, Kimba. I think the scale is always a week behind what I'm eating and doing. Haha, yeah, exactly. And as I say, I'm never going to throw the scale away because I want to know, well, how much have I lost? But that's the thing. The middle of this past week, I was almost 15 pounds lost. I almost lost. I was like at a loss of almost close to 15 pounds. Now, as I sit here today, I only lost 12 pounds the last 7 weeks. It'll change. I know it'll change. It'll get better. But it's just disheartening. That's all. I want to lose 2 pounds a week if I can, which I know is not going to happen every week. But when you figure out that it's been 7 weeks and I only lost 12 pounds in the 7 weeks, which is still good, still something. It doesn't equate to 2 pounds a week. 14 pounds lost today would be 2 pounds a week, but it's still good. It's still okay. Okay, Andrea says, and how true this is. This is very true. Too few calories can make your metabolism sluggish, and the lightheaded aspect seems to also suggest this. Just a thought. You're right. And don't forget, I've watched a lot of people. I could shoot off a lot of names, doctors, weight professionals, dietitians, a lot of people. And yeah, because I think sometimes I'm eating too few calories, believe it or not. I think I'm under my calories. But also, well, we'll get into this later. I won't talk about it right now. I'll talk about it later. Let me hold that thought for now. Avoid refined sugar at all costs, especially when your metabolism is trying to heal. It's likely that you are highly insulin resistant, and it's going to take time for your body to get insulin sensitive. Yeah, I think that's it too. I was wondering, like, I knew that after 7 weeks, like if I had like one brownie like that at a movie theater, I knew it wasn't going to mess me up as far as like I was going to gain all the weight back in one shot. But I was wondering if it would play havoc with my metabolism, or it's trying to heal and it gets confused because you're eating no sugar, and all of a sudden you're eating sugar, right? So I definitely will keep that in mind. What you're saying, okay. Okay, your body doesn't need sugar in your diet. Your body will produce all the glucose you need from basic foods. I agree with this, and I know. Well, it's not a matter of agreeing. I mean, I know this because I've been reading a lot, not just this year, but I have books in my closet that I studied in the 1980s, 1980s and early 90s, 80s and early 90s. I was reading these books. A lot of things have changed though. So, sometimes what works one time is all of a sudden not. It's not the way they do it the next time, as times change. But overall, yeah, glucose. You can get glucose from if you eat vegetables. You can get it. Everything else will turn it. Yeah, yeah. You'll get the glucose you need from the other foods. Exactly. I understand. Refined sugar is just. It's like it goes right up. It gives you a sugar jolt. You don't want that. Um. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if that's ever happened. I hope it hasn't. Uh. Uh. Again, just trying to help you. 2 weeks ago, you said you were walking 40 minutes a day. This week, you missed some days. This is partly to blame for sure. Right, that's true. I had gotten up to 40 minutes. I was walking 40 minutes a day, and then I did get lax with it. Yes, and I appreciate that. Anytime people can bring up a point like that, that I may have not thought about right away. Yeah. Um, My weighing suggestion is to weigh yourself every Sunday and Wednesday. See, that's what I did exactly what I did this past week. Sunday I was 306. Wednesday I was 304. Sunday I'm 307. you know, but I say I don't feel guilty because I didn't do anything wrong, really. But I mean, I want to tell you some other things as I get going here. Are you going to stick to healthy eating long term? That's the key. Well, that's exactly what my goal. Yes, indeed. But you have to take one day at a time. So far, I've been doing it pretty steadily and pretty well for 7 weeks. Pretty soon it'll be 8 weeks, and it'll be 3 months, and it'll be 6 months, it'll be a year. I hope. Yeah, that's the idea. Uh, yep, the ankle weights. Maybe the most scientific way to monitor your weight would be to weigh yourself morning, noon, and night, and calculate the average. No, 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 no way. That's not for me. Thank you for the suggestion, but it's not for me. Yeah, there you go. Why can't crystal meth is good for losing weight? Peter says. Why can't they figure out how to make that healthier? I think a 10 to 15 minute. Yeah, this too. We've talked about this. Well, I'm not going to do it after each meal. I mean, it depends where I am. If I'm out going to a movie and I eat before the movie, I'm not going to walk. But I've thought about I've thought about walking after dinner when I'm home. I've thought about that. Uh, exactly. You don't have to win every battle to win the overall war. Exactly. Exactly. I did a 60-minute walk yesterday, and I think the additional time makes a huge difference. The first half is just a warm-up. Yeah, okay, very well said. Hello, thank you very much, MPM. Yes, it's well today. Okay. Yeah. Let's see. I don't bike at all. No, no, I don't bike. We just don't have a really good means of keeping a bicycle here. No, no, I will not keep weighing myself. It's bad enough that I weigh myself twice a week or 3 times a week. That's it. I mean, I should weigh myself no more than once a week. If I can get tough enough to weigh myself once every 2 weeks, fine. Yeah, I've talked about this before, but my ultimate goal weight is about 175. And 175 is being generous because, these idiots, I say idiots, when they have that body mass index scale and they tell you what your height is and what your ideal weight. My ideal weight is supposed to be like 150 pounds. Yeah, right. Screw that. You know, 160 maybe. Okay, I could see 160. But the thing is, my goal is 175. That's my goal. I don't know why 175. Should I say 170, 165, 180? I don't know. But first I got to get under 3, and then I got to get under 250. Then I got to get under 2. Let's start with that. But anyway, let me just talk about something else now, people. Like I was saying, I really, I stuck with it. I didn't give in. I didn't give up, but I felt like it. And then I was reading again. Now, this is what's divisive, because I agree with what Mick64 said earlier, pretty much. You don't need refined sugar or sugar really in your life. Your body can turn other things into sugar. I agree. I concede that. Now, let me ask you, what about individualism? What about if person A is like you say, but person B needs a little bit? I know that sounds crazy. Are we all exactly alike? Are we all exactly alike? Or we have to refine a diet to us personally as individuals? Because I was thinking for a while there, I was thinking, maybe what I need is, maybe I need to have a sandwich every day, just a little sandwich, not a submarine sandwich, and rye bread. If you're going to eat bread, um, I looked it up. I think sourdough and rye are probably two of the better options, but I do know that it's best to have no bread at all. If you want to stop the sugar thing, we know that bread turns to sugar. Bread does the same thing as sugar does. But I thought maybe 2 slices of thin rye bread every day would give me enough that I could lose weight. I could lose weight, but I still wouldn't have these drops. Maybe I was thinking that. Yeah, yeah. So I was thinking that, and then I did some more reading, and it was like, no, 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 do not eat. And there's a really good guy out there. I don't know what he is. What his name is. He's I think an Indian. He looks like from India. A doctor who's on, and he's very good about no sugar. And I see him. He has a name I can't pronounce. It's a long name, but he's very good. But the thing is, then I started thinking, no, no, I can't have any bread, not even one little sandwich. Don't have any bread. I don't know if a little bread right now is what I need, but I'll tell you this. Listen to this. Now, I know I'm throwing a lot of stuff at you. Let's take it one step at a time. You know how they say don't eat bread, don't eat sugar, don't eat refined carbohydrates, no white flour, right? I'm there. I'm with you. But then the idea is you could get energy from good fats like avocado, which I eat avocado pretty regularly. Avocado, and even some butter, but also nuts. I don't really eat nuts. Well, here's the part I really want to get out. Yesterday, when I was having one of these attacks or spells or moods or whatever you want to call it, I went into the kitchen. I noticed we have a bag of crushed walnuts. I took a little bit of, not a lot. You can't eat a lot of nuts. I won't eat a lot of nuts. But I put some in my hand, crushed walnuts, and I chewed on them and I swallowed them. And do you know whether it was psychological or whether it was actually physically real? I felt better. I started to feel clearer. I start to feel like some walnuts. I don't love walnuts. I really don't. My favorite nuts are cashews, but I don't think cashews are as good for you. I think almonds, from what I hear, almonds and walnuts are the best, is from what I've heard. Do you know those crushed walnuts actually seemed to level me off yesterday? Yeah. So maybe I'll add some nuts. Now, today, it's the next day after all that. I feel pretty good today. I got up 6:30 in the morning this morning. It's 3:30 in the afternoon, and I haven't had a dive. I've been feeling much better, much like myself, much more like my real self today than I have in the last couple of days. So it comes and goes. It comes and goes. These waves and these crashes, which I can't always identify them. So let's get more comments. All right. A good tip is to drink water and eat fruit. That can and will stave off hunger. Yes, of course. I do eat fruit. I eat bananas. Right now I ran out of bananas, but maybe that's what I needed yesterday. I didn't have a banana yesterday. I don't know. Or the day before that, I don't know. Bananas, I know they're high in natural sugar. They're the highest fruit, probably one of the highest fruits in natural sugar. But I do eat fruit. You know what it is? I used to years ago when I was on my healthy diet, when it was in my late 20s and early 30s. Um, One of the things that I ate was apples. I had at least one apple a day, maybe more than one apple a day. I might go back to apple. I might go back to apples. Let's see if that helps. But yeah, and the water too. I have water here right now. Here we go. I drink water every day, but maybe I don't drink enough of it. I think I could still drink a lot more of it. Do you have a realistic timeline? Unfortunately, no, well, or fortunately, I'll say fortunately, no, because I don't know what it's going to be. I've said this last time, I think. When I was 27 years old, I think it was, I had lost 70 pounds in 3 months. I was 27. Now that I'm 64, you see what happened. I only lost 12 pounds in 7 weeks, which is still pretty good, but it's not like it was when I was in my 20s. No, no, no. So I do not have a goal. I started this diet on June 21st, the first day of summer, my favorite season. So I figured, let's see how much I weigh June 21, 2027, 52 weeks. I'd like to lose 100, but I don't think it's realistic. So I'm not. The bottom line, Gary, to answer that question is, whatever it will be, it will be. I can't make a goal. I can't control that. Whatever it's going to be, whatever my body does, it does. I never weigh myself. There you go. If you had just now weighed yourself for the first time, 12 pounds in 7 weeks, not bad at all. Yeah, exactly. That's another thing. What about weighing yourself once a month? I've thought of that too. Just weigh myself every 4 weeks, but I don't know if I could wait that long. One week is hard enough. 4 years on my diet, and my goal was 180. I'd never made it. That's interesting. The lowest I made it to is 185. Close enough for me. There you go. I hover around 190 most of the time. That's down from 235 when I started. And as usual, you are quite the inspiration, Mick64, and thank you so much for sharing that. And I understand what you mean. That's why I say 175. I may never get below 185. Who the hell knows? I don't know at this stage of my life what my body's going to do. We are not meant to eat everything on this planet. Just because it tastes good doesn't mean it's good for you. Well, we know that, obviously. As a matter of fact, Gary, I'll even go a step farther than that. I'll say the better it tastes, the worse it is for you. You know what I mean? Not in every case, but you know the worst foods taste great. You know, the best tasting foods, right, are bad for you. And bread spikes blood sugar and calls up the insulin. And when insulin resistant, it's way too much. And when it drops, that's when you feel bad and hungry. Well, right. Yeah, exactly. That's why, so far, if you heard what I said before, Jill, I have not gone back to eating bread. I have not done that. You know, so far, what I ate was a handful of crushed walnuts, and the walnuts seemed to do the trick. Whether it's in my mind or whether it was real, I felt a lot better yesterday after eating the walnuts. Walnuts are supposed to be very healthy. Yeah, I don't love nuts, unfortunately, but I diet. But again, let me go back. Even if I don't like something, if it'll the taste of it, if it'll help me, I'll do it. I don't care. You know, the idea is to use like certain foods as a natural healing medicine, right? Doesn't matter whether or not I don't personally want it or like it. If nuts will help me, I'll have a handful of nuts every day. Yeah, this I agree with this. You say a diet should be tailored to the individual. We all have different genetics and environments. Nobody knows your body better than you do. Absolutely. A lot of people out there, let's face it, think, and maybe they're right. I don't know. Maybe they're right and I'm wrong. Um, if you ask 10 doctors, you'll get five opinions of this way, and five will tell you that. Five will tell you meat's not good for you. Five will say you eat some meat. Whatever. But anyway, yeah, I do believe that a lot of these things in life are very individual, very person specific. I really believe that it's about you as a person specifically, not about me. What works for Nick 64 might not work for me. What works for Jill may not work for me, and so on, and vice versa. Walnuts are a great source of nutrition, and they help curb your appetite. With everything, moderation is key. Okay. I believe that about the nuts. Also, sauerkraut is good for you too. Just a few teaspoons a day can help. Yeah, I don't know how I would get sauerkraut, but yeah, I heard about this too, Kimber. A spoonful of olive oil can be beneficial. I've heard that as well. And the older you get, the harder it gets. Absolutely. I mean, the other night, you know what my dinner was night before last? Night before last, my dinner, a can of sardines. That's it. No vegetables, no side dish. By the way, I've also been thinking of maybe eating potatoes. I mean, I'm afraid of potatoes because potatoes, again, it's like starch. It's like the sugar. It turns to sugar, starch, potato. So I don't really eat potatoes. But I'm beginning to think maybe for me, Joe Mayo, me as an individual person, speaking for me only, maybe for me, I could benefit by having some potatoes with dinner. I'm not talking about like French fries, greasy French fries, just potato. And I know that sweet potato is supposed to be good, which if sweet potato is the best for you, no argument there. There's a food that's good for you. It tastes good. Sweet potato. You get very rarely do you find a food that's really good for you that tastes really good. Yeah, and I've thought of this too, even though it's an old cliche. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. Absolutely. Yeah, walnuts have potassium. That might have helped you. Very true. Very true. And bananas have potassium as well. And right now, I need to go to the supermarket. I'm really low on everything. Um, Scientists found that apples have I don't know what you call that, but phytochemicals, which are good for the immune system. And we know apples are good. We can't. And berries. I ran out of berries. Berries are very easy to go through quickly, I find. But no, I haven't bought frozen berries yet. I'm sorry, girls. I haven't bought frozen. I know Kimba's big on the frozen berries and some other people, but I have not bought the frozen berries yet. But I will tell you that I ran out of berries. But yeah, I eat blueberries. I eat blueberries. I eat bananas. And with bananas, I'm going to try to have no more than one a day if I can. Maybe. Sometimes I'll have two, maybe even three. I go crazy sometimes, but maybe one. And I'm going to try to get apples back into the diet. Sounds like you were lacking protein. That can make you lethargic. That's a good word for what I was feeling lethargic. The walnuts contain some protein, which may be why you felt better. Exactly, Marcus. Exactly. Curious to know if you have an eating plan. For example, most of our dinners here are chicken, fish, or beef with two veggies, maybe some rice. Easy to make. When you say an eating plan, um, for the most part, like today for breakfast and lunch, I had eggs. You know, like I'll have for breakfast. See, I call it brunch. I eat about anywhere from 11 a.m. to 12 noon. 11 a.m., 11:30, or 12 noon. That's my average eating time for the first meal of the day. Hopefully, after not having anything since dinner and doing an intermittent fast, hopefully haven't gone 16 or so hours without eating. Anyway, so yeah, I have eggs, or when I don't have eggs, so sometimes I'll have a burger patty, just the meat, no bun, the meat and some onions on it or mushrooms or something. Uh, or I'll make a tuna fish, and I'll have tuna fish. And when I have tuna fish, I do put in either mayonnaise or I put in Miracle Whip. And I know it's got the seed oils, and I know it's got corn syrup. That maybe that's I still lost 12 pounds, didn't I? Still lost 12 pounds, but maybe that's why I'm having some issues. But and that's pretty much my choices. I kind of rotate that for I have one day it'll be eggs, next day it'll be tuna, next day it'll be beef. Rotate it like that. Sometimes I'll have sardines, sometimes I'll have something like that. So that's what I do for breakfast. And then for dinner, my girlfriend and I, we have chicken most of the time. We have a lot of chicken, or we have what do you think here? Or she makes a meatloaf, which is beef, chopped meat. So it's either chopped meat or a burger. Sometimes we'll have pork chops. We don't really have steak that often, and vegetables. She either makes vegetables, frozen vegetables. Usually we have frozen vegetables, and with that we have that. And sometimes we have a salad. And yes, when I have the salad, I'll be honest with you, I do put the dressing. I put the dressing on. I buy light dressing, Thousand Island dressing, and or ranch dressing. It's the light kind. It's the lighter kind, diet kind. Now, I know it's not perfect. I know it's got sugar. I know some degree of sugar or corn syrup. I know it's probably got seed oils. I know that. I could do better. I could do better and just use oil and vinegar, olive oil and vinegar. I might change to that. Cut corners there. And I do eat ketchup. I eat ketchup. Sorry, and that's got sugar in it. I know there's sugarless ketchup out there, which I was suggesting to my girlfriend, maybe we could try ketchup with no sugar or something. And she said, yeah, well, but I don't mind trying that. So we'll try it. There's some corners I could cut. I could use oil and vinegar or balsamic or something that's not that creamy dressing crap. Um, I could limit my use of mayonnaise and Miracle Whip. I could limit that. Uh, and ketchup and get like ketchup without the corn syrup in it. There's things I can do. But what I was saying earlier about is it more of, but sometimes I wonder, is it a matter of getting rid of all the sugar and all the refined carbohydrates, or is it a matter of portion control? Like in other words, yeah, I can have a sandwich every day if I want, but it's going to be one little rye bread sandwich with turkey, rye bread, turkey, and mustard, one sandwich. That's it. And I'm not doing any fast food. Fast food is crap. I know fast food's crap. We all know fast food is crap. Sometimes we eat it anyway. But I wonder, like, if I was going to go, what if I went there and I just had, one cheeseburger? That's it. Not two cheeseburgers, not French fries, not soda, just one cheeseburger with water. And that's it for the whole day until I go home and have chicken for dinner or salad or something. Can I get by with one slice of pizza a week? But as J.D. Thompson said earlier, you don't want to send mixed messages to your system, and you're trying to heal. You're trying to get better, right? You don't want to confuse it. Going from no sugars of any kind and no flours of any kind to all of a sudden giving it little shots here and there. So this is why you don't know which way to go. I caught part of the record store stream. I think you could reward your weight loss goal with a trip to England Two things to strive for over the next 12 to 24 months. Well, 24 months sounds better. It does. Yeah, hopefully I'll have more to celebrate in 24 months. Hopefully in 24 months I'm unrecognizable. Uh, Thank you very much, Gary, and good luck. I hope things are going well for you. There you go. There it is. Blueberries and strawberries. That's what I like to see. Yeah, and I like berries. I like berries. That's a really good mindset you have there to think of what you eat as medicine. Well, that's what I mean. Like, well, that's the thing. Remember the old saying? I used to live like this in the late 80s and early 90s. The quote, eat to live. Don't live to eat. You eat to live. You're putting fuel in your body, right? That's what we're doing. We're not saying, well, I want to eat. I want to pig out. I want to eat all kinds of sweet tasting crappy ice cream and shit like that. No, you want to feed your body nutritious food. That's the idea of it. I know this. I've known this for the past 40 years, right? I mean, I knew exactly what I was doing to myself from 1994 to 2026. I knew exactly 32 years. 32 years, 1904, 14, yeah, 30, 32 years. Come on, man. You know what you're doing. Why do you still do it? What about lentils? Have you had lentil? I like lentils. I like lentil soup. Excuse me. Once in a blue moon, my girlfriend makes lentil soup. And by the way, I might be going into getting beans too. I might wind up eating beans right out of the can. I might wind up doing that, to be honest with you. There's all kinds of beans out there. Some people say you shouldn't eat beans. It's like, wow. But I think beans are good. If you like cashews best, I would get some and eat those. Yeah, I don't. Well, first of all, cashews are expensive. I think they're the most expensive, or one of the most expensive. And the second thing is, I probably like them because they're the sweetest. And I wonder if they're a little bit more sugar heavy, natural sugar heavy. I don't know. Yeah, blueberries are great, full of nutrients. Absolutely. Okay, overnight, what I cycle 4 to 6 hours a night. I hope to get you to get a bicycle. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think so because we have nowhere to store it here, really. I mean, all right, we have a storage unit in the bottom of the apartments. There are every tenant has a storage unit with a lock and key on it, but it's an effort. Go down to the basement, bring that thing up and down the stairs. No, but I mean, walking is doing me fine right now. You know what I mean? Walking is doing me fine right now. And you can't ride a bicycle in the winter in the snow and the cold, where you could maybe, but not me. Small amount of potato in context of a meal like steak, hamburger, broccoli, lettuce, salad, potato would be much less impactful to blood sugar and insulin than if you had a baked potato for lunch. I agree with you. And that's what I mean. Like, I'm not talking about just eating a potato on its own. Just give me a potato, period. No, starch only. I remember hearing that a long time ago in the books I was reading. They said, if you're trying to do this, one of the rules was never have a starch only meal. Never eat starch only. Make sure that you have other stuff accompanied with it, like you said. By the way, Jill, I didn't get your opinion if you heard it. If you heard what I was saying about the nuts when I ate a handful of cashews, that seemed to improve me. And I'll tell you something else. Like sometimes my girlfriend is she's not as savvy as I am when it comes to knowing about diet stuff because I mean I had to learn. I had to learn back when I was ill in the 1980s. I had to buy books. I had to read up. I had to learn. She's type 2 diabetic, but she still occasionally eats stuff she shouldn't eat. I mean, she doesn't have cookies. She doesn't have cake, but she'll occasionally. She used to buy, not anymore. She used to buy Russell Stover's chocolates, miniature chocolates, but they were sweetened with stevia. They weren't, supposedly there was no sugar, sugar in it, but there's stevia, which is a plant or whatever. So she would eat that. She's got all kinds of she's got like barbecue sauce in there. And if you read it, it says, natural flavor, like it's not, it says no sugar, no sugar, but you still have to read the ingredients. And it says, or she has honey mustard in there, she has barbecue sauce in there, and the honey mustard, the barbecue sauce will say it's either sweetened with stevia or it's got something else in it, and she uses that. She figures she's getting no sugar if she doesn't eat that, if she has that instead of sugar. Well, for me, I mean, I've been known occasionally, if we're having chicken breast or chicken thighs, I'll say, give me the barbecue sauce. And occasionally, once in a blue moon, I will put a little bit of it on my chicken, even though I shouldn't have any of that sweet stuff. I should just, you know, I either eat chicken plain, or you might not like this, but I put mayonnaise on it. I do. I put like a glob of mayonnaise on my plate, and I dip the chicken in it, or I spread it on the chicken. I know that's I know that's not the perfect. I would do better if I eat the chicken plain. I understand that, but hey, I still lost 12 pounds, so it shows you could still lose weight. The question is whether I can lose weight as fast as I ordinarily would. If I completely cut out mayonnaise, if I completely cut out any kind of salad dressing, completely cut out ketchup, and didn't eat any of that stuff, I know I would do much better. But do I want to? I don't know if I want to live to that point. I mean, and I'll say again here as I think of it, there will be a day when I will go back to having pizza. There is a day when I will go back to having pasta. And there is a day when I'll go back to having bread. It'll be implemented, hopefully, sporadically at certain times, and not be the part of my every day of my life, But I don't plan on doing without for the rest of my life. No. But right now, those things are not even on my radar right now. Oil, vinegar, mustard salad dressing takes moments to make. You could make it yourself. My only fast food treat is a Wendy's spicy chicken sandwich. It's portion control. That's why a nutritionist would be a good idea. They would give you a whole plan. Well, Eddie, we talked about this before. I think I'm not going to a nutritionist. I won't say never. Someday, if I'm not getting anywhere, hopefully we won't discuss this again too much, but if it turns out where I throw my hands up and I give up, I can't. Whatever I'm doing is not working, I'll go to a nutritionist. But I've argued with nutritionists before. We'll argue, They'll tell me, "Oh no, you should never have potatoes or something," and I'll say, "No, like Jill said, you could have potatoes a little bit with a meal with salad. Everybody's got different. So what I'm going to do is argue with them." And you keep talking about portion control. I agree with you. I think no matter what diet you're on, portion control should be considered. I think portion control is a given, right? That's something we should always do, regardless of what we're eating. But I'm not going to do just I'm not going to say, okay, I'll have ice cream tonight. Tonight at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night, I'm going to have ice cream. But instead of having a bowl like this, I'll have a cup like that. No ice cream. I'd rather not have ice cream. Period. Never mind portion control. No. There'll come a time when like I said with pizza. You might say, well, have pizza, but just have one slice. Don't have 2, 3, 4 slices. Have one slice. And I'm saying right now, I'll say I don't want any pizza, period. It's not on my want power plan. My want power right now is not to have pizza. Okay? It's one of my favorite foods. But eventually, I will do portion control on it. Maybe when you get to go a little sugar here and there, or a piece of pizza, a small sandwich once in a while with a salad, likely okay, but not now, like you said. Exactly. To me, and also to me, as you said, Jill, I'm just trying to get my body chemistry, my metabolism healed. I'm trying to heal it. And I believe that'll come with time. But I also look at it as like when you're just starting a diet, if you're going to have pizza, or you're going to have ice cream, and you're going to have sandwiches, you're going to have pasta, you take 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. So I don't believe in that. Now, if I can lose 75 pounds, 60 pounds, 75 pounds, and then I decide, okay, I lost 60, 70 pounds. Now I'll have pizza once every 2 weeks. Once every 2 weeks, Every second Saturday, I can have two slices of pizza at a park. Go to pizza parlor to treat once every 2 weeks, and that's it. You know, so I'd want when if I did that, I'd want to see two things. Number one, I'd want to know how it did for me as far as calorie wise. Did it make me gain weight back, too much weight back? But I'd also want to know what has it done to me body chemically. If it makes me feel terrible, that's another thing. So there's two things: caloric intake and fat accumulation, and just generally what kind of mood do you feel in from eating that shit again? You know, not trying to sound like a smart ass, but if you cut out all these foods you know are bad and double up on the good foods, you would feel fuller and better. Meatloaf tasty, but bound with bread. Well, that's true. That's true. In fact, I thought of that as I said. Yes, when we have meatloaf, she's got the breadcrumbs. Absolutely, no doubt about it. Yeah, but you see, that's the other thing. I agree with you, Empty Glass. To do 100% is better. If you could do 100%, great. But I don't know if I'm looking to be a complete, what's the word a term I'd be looking for? Caveman diet. Complete caveman diet. Okay, so she puts a little bread in. I don't care. Like this morning, I had eggs. I make 4 eggs for breakfast. That's my only meal till dinner. So I'm gonna have 4 eggs, not just one. But I make 4 eggs, and I do put a little ketchup on it, a little bit of ketchup. People would say, "Oh, you're putting ketchup on your eggs. Don't do that, man. Ketchup's not good. Don't put that on your eggs. What are you? No wonder you're not getting it." And I'm saying to you, if you say that, I'm saying to you, I'm not eating ice cream. I'm not eating cookies, cake, pie. I'm not eating sugar. I'm not having pasta. I'm not eating white bread. I'm not eating any bread. If you tell me I can't have a little couple of sprinklings on my eggs of ketchup, do I think I would do even better if I had no ketchup? Probably, most likely. Because of my Irish heritage, potatoes are ingrained with family traditions. It's hard to not crave certain foods you've had since childhood associated with family and comfort. Well, it depends what your health is, though. You'd be surprised. Like, when they say like cancer cures smoking, like you might be a person that finds it impossible to give up smoking a cigarette, say, because you're addicted to the nicotine and because you like to socially puff up a cigarette. Social smoking, it calms your nerves. You associate smoking with family, right? And comfort. Well, if they tell you if you got cancer and you're going to die, then if you don't stop smoking, or maybe you're about to get, you can still control it. Funny how you could stop things when you have to, and that's what it comes down to. And I feel I have to stop this stuff right now. Okay, beans. Some beans are okay, but high carbs if too many and not with meat and fiber as part of a meal. Yeah, okay, that's true. Yeah, so I was going to eat some just as a snack, like. There you go. Your friend, the YouTuber Kubrick lover, went through a phase of sending me almonds. Danny says to exercise your lungs with cigarettes. That's what he does. That's what he does. What I don't like is that the weight you do lose, it's in the wrong place. I lose it on the back side right away when I want to lose it in the front around the middle, which takes forever. Yeah, yeah. And I'm worried. I hate that too with my belt when I wear my belt around my waist, right? At first, when I started, I take my belt. I can only get in the first hole number one. I just make it. Then after a while, I was in hole number two, and I've been stuck in hole number two for weeks. This past week, occasionally, I was in hole number three. I accomplished a new hole. Yeah. And everybody knows that good feeling when you have to buy another belt or you have to take a hole puncher and punch in. I remember punching new holes, and I remember, in the years when I was losing tons of weight and I lost like 80 pounds or something. I used to have to take a pair of scissors and like cut a new hole in the belt. I'm waiting for that to happen. But anyway, I went down to 3 holes in the belt. Now I'm back to two. I'm glad I haven't gone back to one. But it's murder, man. And you have to just be consistent. You have to keep doing it. You have to want it. You have to have that want power. If you don't want it bad enough, you're not going to stick with the diet. I make veggie burgers sometimes with different beans and veggies. They're tasty. There you go. I agree with you. I appreciate that. Try Ken's Simply Balsamic Vinaigrette and use half a serving and add additional vinegar and a bit of quality olive oil. Yeah, well, Ken's is the name we know. I think we buy Ken's actually. And George once again says his opinion. I don't believe it's about cutting anything out. Simply limit your intake. Well, as I said earlier, George, I think that everybody's an individual, so I can't say no. I can't say you're wrong. All I could say is if it works for you, fantastic. If eating like a cup of ice cream, drinking instead of having a big giant cup of soda like this, have a little bit of soda like that. If that works for you, fine. I think it's crap. I don't think your body should have soda in it at all, ever. Uh, although, although, you know, I don't mind. I don't mind giving up soda. I don't mind giving up, ice cream and cake and shit like that because and candy, and chocolate bars. That stuff is no good for you. But George, I can't say that if I get to where I want to be, that I won't have like once or twice a year have a soda. If I get down in the weight to where I want to be, and it's a hot summer's day, and we're out at a fair or something, we're at a fair, and it's hot, and there's a soda vendor. I say, give me Coke, give me a Coca-Cola. I'm not going to say I'll never have it again. So, but some people believe just like you. It's just about limit intake, because there's two things we're looking at, though, isn't there? Though, when you say limit intake, do you mean just limit your intake to keep slim, or do you mean limit your intake to keep healthy? Like, in other words, do you draw a line between the two? It's good to never say never to certain things like pizza. Always look ahead. Yeah. Best ice cream I've had is a dairy-free one. Potatoes actually have potassium and lots of vitamins, whereas bread and pastas does not. Cut the bananas for snacks and eat potato with your meal for potassium when you do need. Well, somebody was telling me that the walnuts, the nuts have potassium in them too, right? I have eaten out and have had a bun. Costco hot dog or a butter burger from Culver's, which we have here in the Midwest, very rarely, and nothing else with it. Uh, my wife makes meatloaf without bread. There you go. One slice of meatloaf and veggies is not going to put on weight, regardless of the few breadcrumbs in the meatloaf. Now, see, this I agree with. George, when George is talking about, um, just limit your intake. I agree with this. Don't have three pieces of meatloaf, or don't go back for seconds or thirds, right? I agree with that. See, that's what I'm trying. That's what I'm also wondering. That's why I was wondering for a while. Maybe I could have one sandwich a day, just a little sandwich. Rye bread. Rye bread's better than whole wheat bread, or even white. Certainly better than white bread. White bread's the worst. But if I could get away with no bread at all right now and not really miss it, fine. That's even better. Right now, I'm not missing anything. I'm not missing anything right now. Believe it or not, because my mind is so focused right now that I got to sit on the goal rather than what I'm missing. A breakfast. Oops, my phone fell on the floor. My breakfast of eggs only is not a balanced plate. A breakfast of eggs only is not a balanced plate. Add some spinach and some sausage and maybe a handful of berries. This is more rounded, healthier, and will keep you feeling full longer. Yes, but I don't know if I have anything in the house to add to eggs to the eggs. I don't have bacon in the house. I don't have any berries left. And I don't have currently. I don't have any berries. But we don't usually have sausage. I mean, I eat sausage when we go out. if we go out to a diner for breakfast, I'll get eggs and sausage. But yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. Uh, you're making progress. Eventually, you can get to hole number 4. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. Okay. Scrambled eggs without ketchup is like a day without sunshine. Okay, they ran out of bullets. Says willpower is greater than want power, in my opinion. Want can be anything, but not a definite. Whereas willpower is I will lose weight. I want to go for a walk, maybe, or I will go. I will go. Definite. Just my opinion. Well, you do you, and I'll do me. But I appreciate your opinion. The whole thing is they really just words, right? I mean, they have different meanings. Like you said here, I will. I will. No, 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 no. For me, I have to want it. The reason why I have not been successful for me is I haven't wanted it badly enough. I just haven't wanted to succeed badly enough. Saying I will. No. Once you have the want, then you can have the will. Does that make sense? First I really have to want to do it. I have to want to lose weight. I have to want to give up all those bad foods. Then once I want it, I could say, now that I want it, I will do it. I will succeed. I will stay on it. I will continue. So we're just mincing words. I mean, maybe the two terms mean exactly the same thing. I like want power. I want this. I wasn't able to do it before this, till hot dogs, cold cuts, not good for the intestine. And I'll tell you something else. Although we don't have any in the house now, my girlfriend's away, but when she's in, we buy low salt. I know it's not good. Low salt deli ham, delicatessen ham slices. And once in a while, like about now, in the middle of the afternoon, I'll go in there when I want a snack, and I'll take a couple of slices, roll them up with mustard, and I'll eat them. I know deli meat is not good for you, but here's where I agree with George to a degree, where having 1 or 2 slices of the rolled up deli ham a day with a little mustard, or even sometimes mayo in the middle, and roll it up as a snack, no problem. Is it better? Would it be better if I didn't do that at all? Yep, I think so, but I'm not going to. All this talk of food has made me hungry. Walnuts have magnesium, which you definitely need also. Too much sodium, not balanced with potassium. You see, that's another thing. There might be too much sodium in the walnuts. Not balanced with potassium. Magnesium can raise blood pressure and fluid retention. Yeah, there's that too. It's tough. Now, you see, Eddie, this is where you're wrong. I disagree with you a lot when it comes to this. You say you can't live the rest of your life never to have a slice of pizza, never to have a cheeseburger. You can't? What law is it? What law is it? Is it Eddie's law? Vito Eddie's law that says you can't go the rest of your life without a cheeseburger? You can't go the rest of your life without pizza? Well, I'm not going to because I choose not to. I choose to eat those things at some point. But you most certainly can go your whole life without eating those things, you know. But I agree with you. I'm gonna follow your way of doing it. I do agree. Once a week you'll have one, or once every 2 weeks, whatever works for you as an individual. As me, as Joe Mayo as an individual. At the end of the day, they're just words, like we said, willpower, want power. We agree on it. As long as you stay true to your plan and succeed, that's all that matters. I'm still rooting for you. Thank you. Yeah. I lost a bunch of weight over the last couple of years, mostly because I reduced my portion. So it doesn't matter what I eat; it's how much of it. And again, that works for LB Weaver and probably works for most of us, but not everybody. Maybe not. I'm thinking of ending this stream now. This has been another great stream. I don't want them to go much longer than 60, 70 minutes, 75 minutes. I mean, if anybody comes up with any last minute comments, I'll put them up here. But this has been very good. I feel better about things overall. As I say, hopefully I'll see some weight loss showing up next week if I do this next week. But whether I do this here and share with you or not, I'm going to be weighing myself next Sunday. So we'll see where it goes. And thank you all for being here. Thank you. If you're just watching this and it's your first time, please subscribe, to the channel, and please consider joining these support groups. Is what it really is. Trying to support one another, trying to talk about our experiences. We can learn things. Once again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a physician. No, no, no. I'm not a nutritionist, nor am I a dietitian. I'm just a guy that's trying to do his thing. And I'm trying to pick up tips from people out there and people over there, people over there, people back there. And that's it. So thank you, everybody. And I'll talk to you all next time.